Hello and welcome to another Spectrum Geeks video. My name is Dale, and in today's video we're going to be talking about replacing this, your in-home display for your smart meter, with this, the Octopus Home Mini. So thanks for tuning into this video. We're obviously talking about replacing the in-home display with the Octopus Home Mini. That's what this video is all about. I'm just going to explain a little bit about why you might want to do this. And also there'll be a link down in the description where you can register your interest if you're an Octopus customer to get one of the Octopus Home Minis. So as you can see here, I have our in-home display. As you can see, it's not really displaying much because one of the issues with it is, in my experience, the network coverage of how far it has to be from the smart meter isn't that great. But you would have seen this in your own home. It tells you kind of hopefully some real-time usage. It doesn't update that quickly in my experience, and give you some rough budgetary estimates of how much your energy you've used and what your bill is going to be for both your gas and electricity, assuming your smart meters are working properly. In my experience, it's never really that accurate. You're supposed to be able to take the power cable out and kind of move it around your house so you can turn things on and off to see how well they're working. But I found that the battery doesn't last very long at all. In fact, if I unplug this, it just dies straight away, and it's only about a year old, so the rechargeable battery in there is obviously no more. But I signed up, registered my interest for an Octopus Home Mini a while ago, and it has arrived this week. So let me unbox it and talk to you about how to set it up and what I think of it. Okay, so when your Octopus Home Mini arrives, it turns up in this little box. I have covered up some of the information that might be sensitive, just so you can't see it obviously in the video, but this is it. Nice little small box it comes in. When you open it up, inside you have a few things, a little bit of information about the Octopus Home Mini, what model it is, how much voltage it requires, that kind of thing, and some quick instructions on how to get started. Then you have the Octopus Home Mini itself. It's very small, as you can see. It does take a lot of space, and it has a micro USB on there. On the front there's a little picture of the octopus, and there's a little LED light just there above that button. It changes colour a few times depending on what it's doing. And then you get a micro USB cable, and a plug, so you can power it, obviously 3-pin here in the UK. So obviously you don't have to use that power supply as long as you've got something suitable. Perhaps you've got a multi USB connector that you're using to minimise your wall warts, but you can then basically plug this in, which is what we're going to do now. So as you'll see, when you plug it in, that is actually flashing white. It looks kind of pink. Now it's gone to a yellowy colour. Also, actually that's a greeny colour. You can't just see very well with the pink. Also does blue as well. So green is when it's starting to communicate or try to communicate with your smart meter. White when it's fully working. It also is blue for Bluetooth. So the actual setup process is really super simple. I'll put the screen up on here. Basically, there is a QR code in this little startup booklet. Obviously you have to already have your Octopus app installed, obviously your account information. Once you kind of connect it up, you enable it to look for Bluetooth. It will then search for the Home Mini and connect to your wireless network. I have multiple wireless networks here. I have a specific one for an Internet of Things one, which I connected it to, but it can connect to any 2.4 gigahertz wireless network. And once it's all connected up and it's working, you'll see that that little light goes white, as it has done now. Again, it looks a bit pinky in this picture, to show that basically it's working. And then it's going to take somewhere between 10 minutes to half an hour for it to start basically receiving data. So a couple of reasons why you might be interested in getting the Octopus Mini is a few reasons. One, my understanding is that it does communicate more readily back to Octopus. So whereas the smart meter is typically taking those 30-minute readings, I think it kind of sends them once a day in kind of a batch process. I think the data coming to the Octopus Mini is going back obviously in real time to give live data for electricity, and every 30 minutes still for gas, but obviously still gives you a bit more insight into what's happening. And I think if more and more customers get these, enable Octopus to make some more effective decisions in terms of energy usage and what have you. And obviously the advantage it has to you as a customer is, one, you have real-time access to the data live in the app, which we'll look at in a moment, and also makes it easier to see if you've got things turned on or off that are using lots of energy. If, like me, you already have a battery or solar or something like that, you can probably see that in a different app already. But again, if you're not someone who has a battery or some other connectivity to the grid to show how much power your house is using, this now brings that to you as well. Obviously, it takes up a lot less room, the in-home display. They still work together. You can have them both on if you want, but for me, that's going out the window and won't be used anymore. And obviously, this takes up a lot less space. So I've also found that the Wi-Fi connectivity of this back to the smart meter is much better than with that in-home display. So it enables me to have this in a better position. So again, it's not cluttering up space on the side in the kitchen. So let me open up the app on my phone. Obviously there is an iOS version and an Android version, but you'll have known that already if you have an Octopus account, because you probably have installed the app already. So let me get the app open and then we'll take a little look at what it looks like just over here. Okay, so bring the information up just over here. One thing you'll realise is I'm currently running off my battery, so the minimum usage right now, and every now and then it will pop, so it does a little bit of exporting. And I had to have it disconnected for a little while whilst I was showing you the in-home displays, which is why you'll see there are some gaps in the live data. But as you can see right now, we're using -5 watts. So as basically the battery and the grid are constantly balancing, you'll see that that moves around a little bit as we go. Obviously, when the batteries run out, then I see the live data of how many watts it is that we're pulling from the grid. But the same, if we're exporting, we're able to see this in the app as well. Whereas normally, you can only see, obviously, the day data for the previous day, and then the week, the month, and the year. But as we can see here, if I press on day, we can see daytime information already before it's had to go back to Octopus to process. So we can see that in the real time. So you can see in the early hours of this morning where it's charging up the battery and we had washing on and other things, and we obviously used a fair bit more. And then you can see so far used for gas down the bottom there as well. And it obviously shows you what tariffs you're on. If you go back to live data, you don't see the gas information, because that's only every 30 minutes. So once this has been on for a while, it will display some information on there, but you can change it from last 30 minutes to last 5 minutes to see, again, more real-time data with what you're using. You see right now, again, we're using 16 watts. So not a significant kind of game change or revolutionary set of information you can get, but obviously it does allow you to make more informed decisions about the energy you're using, and perhaps give you readily access to obviously that instant data consumption, to make you realise that perhaps you did leave an infrared heating panel on somewhere, or your car started charging and you didn't realise, or anything basically, to see if you're using more energy than you thought you were. So hope that helps. Let me know if you've got an Octopus Home Mini, you've used it for a while, has it been beneficial or not? Again, if you're interested in getting one of these, it's still kind of a beta product, but there is a link down in the description that you can use if you want to try and get on the waiting list. And again, if you're not an Octopus Energy customer already and are considering moving, it'd be great if you'd use my referral link. If you do, both you and I get £50 credited to your bill. So thanks as always for watching. Any questions or anything you want to ask, any feedback, leave it down in the comments section below. But till next video, take care of yourself. Goodbye for now.